Hello. Wait, am I good? Hello! Welcome back to another virtual sanctuary visit with us at Catskill Animal Sanctuary. I hope you are all having a lovely Thursday afternoon indoors, at home, because it's beautiful. It's sunny here right now, but it's also a little bit chillier than I planned for. And I guess that's why we're supposed to check the weather before we go outdoors and dress appropriately. But it is chilly out there. So thank you for tuning in. And today we are visiting with our Colorado baby chickens, who are no longer quite the babies we once knew them as, right, Sal? And I've got Sal here for my introduction on my lap. She is a sweetheart and a little cuddle bug. And I think she's enjoying some butt scratches right now. She's probably going to hop off and go wander around and do her thing soon. But just to give you a little bit of history or background about Catskill Animal Sanctuary before we launch into talking about these beautiful birds today. In case this is your first time tuning in with us, Catskill Animal Sanctuary, we're located in the Hudson Valley on about 148 acres. And we've been here since 2001, rescuing animals, rehabilitating them, giving them a home where they're finally knowing love and joy, happiness, safety, and companionship for the rest of their lives. While we've rescued over 5,000 animals, we've got about 300 who call the sanctuary home at this present moment. And the important work that we do is not just their rescue, but we also want to allow them to share their stories with the world, allow them to, show you who they are as individuals and teach you about their backgrounds, their rescue stories. And then as the very best possible way to rescue them or to save them and to advocate for them, we also advocate for vegan living. So that is what we do here at the sanctuary, and we're so glad that you are joining us today. I know that we've got a few sneaking up behind me. I know that chickens kind of get a bad rap. Maybe not the nicest myths that go around about chickens and who they are as individuals. And I'm gonna say hi to. Ooh, I can't see who I've got behind me yet. Oh, okay. Hello. What are some of the myths that you've heard about chickens? Leave them in the comments, and then I will see if I can debunk them for you today. So we'll come back to some of the myths that you've heard about chickens for sure as we go on. And if you tuned in on Saturday, you may have seen me with these babies at the start of our Everybody Poops tour. And we briefly talked about their actual rescue story, all of the small big white chickens who live in this field. And hello, Imogen, best turkey. So Sal's gonna hop away. She's like, look, the show stealer is here. Yes, this is a tour, a virtual visit about chickens, but Imogen is through and through a star. So we'll say hi to the biggest chicken in the yard. She looks a little bit different than other chickens here, and the reason is she's a turkey. But I do love it when visitors come in and they're like, that chicken seems like really, really big. And she gets along really. Where are you going? I thought we were going to hang out. Were we going to hang out? Where are we? What do you think? Are we just going to... Oh man, I might be getting rejected. I'm not sure. We might be getting a hug in. I don't know yet. Oh, I think it's hug time. Okay. Are we gonna do? Yeah, we're finally gonna do our little hug. Imogen is one of the cuddliest turkeys that we have here. A lot of turkeys in general are super, super sweet and cuddly. Arguably some of the best advocates that we have here at the sanctuary, because they feel they really, really surprise people. Where are you going? What are you doing? They come up to you. They just want to cuddle. They're so affectionate. And a lot of times people think that the turkeys are going to be aggressive, maybe really, really stupid, just generally not interested in hanging out with people. But Imogen actually, what are you doing? What are you doing? Oh yeah, we're done. She's like, okay, I had my cuddle. That's it. They get a bad rap for not being very intelligent or sweet, but they're actually just such wonderful, wonderful birds. And Winter, oh my goodness, you are a mess right now, Winter. So I don't know if Lauren can get a close-up on the face of this little sweetie pie. You see what's on Winter's head? Does anyone have any guesses about what is on Winter's head right here? You're such a mess. You're just a little bit of a mess. If you have any guesses, leave it in the comments below, and I will answer that in just a second. Winter is actually one of my favorite little babies in here. Very, very adventurous. Very cuddly as well. Soft-spoken and gentle. And apparently a super messy eater. Did we have any guesses? Oh, it might not have come through yet, yeah, because we do have a little bit of a delay between when I ask and when you guys are actually able to answer. So, I will skip that for a second. I'll tell you their story, and then we'll get back to what's on Winter's head, and to some potential myths about who chickens are, as they all walk away from us right now. But the Colorado babies, we call them babies because they arrived here when they were about 3 weeks old, this particular crew. And so they were very, very much baby chickens. And they have grown up here. They are now adults, but they arrived in January of 2019. So they've had just about a year. A little over a year here at Sanctuary. They've really come into their own. Who are we looking back there?
Nina.
Oh, okay. We do have one of our show-stealing sheep in the background as well. The Colorado babies were part of a rescue of 600 and over 600 chickens, somewhere between 610 and 660 chickens, were rescued from a bankrupt farm in Colorado. It was really a standard American chicken farm, and it had 36,000 chickens living on the farm. 36,000 chickens, just like Cyrus, who might be coming over to say hello. What do you think, Cyrus? Cyrus says, hi! Hello. So 36,000 baby chickens, just like Cyrus, living in 3 barns. Just 3. It was not a good time, was it? And this is just normal. It sounds totally crazy to think. Like, how do you fit 12,000 chickens into one barn? Yes, the barn is big, but also they don't have much space at all. But what we have to keep in mind is that 9 billion chickens are raised every year for food in the United States. And that is a number that our minds generally cannot wrap themselves around. Because if you were to break it down, a million seconds takes 11 and a half or so days to complete. A billion seconds takes 31 and a half years. So, although, 11 and a half days kind of feels like 31 and a half years while we're in quarantine, for most of us, most of the time, we would agree that's a drastic difference in quantity. And there are 9 billion chickens raised every year in the U.S. So 12,000 a barn is actually kind of small when you break it down like that, unfortunately. And these little babies, they were going to be left to die had they not been rescued. And we're so grateful that they're going to live out years and years and years of life here. And it's hard to imagine them when they were young. They were already really big. for their age when they were three or so weeks old. And I'm going to have us play a quick little video for you of them in one of their sort of layover resting points on their way to Catskill Animal Sanctuary in the basement of one of our tour guides here. And you can get a nice close-up view of their little baby faces. I think we're switching. So you would have seen in that video their little tiny, like almost blue eyes. This crew did have kind of like greenish, very, very pale blue eyes. Hello, Cyrus. What are you doing? You're on the move? We're all on the move. They had their little baby eyes. Their voices that you would have heard are just, they were such little baby peeps versus some of the groaning that you're hearing in the background of the yard right now. And we may end up following them to see where they're going. I picked some of their favorite snacks to bring over and see if they would hang out with us for their snacks today. We did get a question on our Instagram in advance of our virtual visit today about who specifically's favorite snack were we asking about?
Samira.
We were asking about Samira's favorite snack. So, all of the chickens in this field tend to like clover. I don't know if it's the actual favorite. There is still a little bit of a communication gap between us in terms of very, very specific communication. But they do tend to really, really enjoy clover. And it's probably someone's favorite food. So let's go find Samira and see if she'll like some clover. Where did she go? Who knows? She's probably going to be the one who's farthest out. I actually think she is. Oh, you're getting your feet all busy. Yeah, Samira was the one who was farthest out at the moment. Hello, beautiful bird. How's it going today? Do you like clover? Yes. Yes, we do. She says, thank you, thank you. I'm going to eat this before all of my friends discover it. And did we have any guesses about what was on Samira's head, by the way?
We had guesses of corn.
Corn.
And also turmeric.
And turmeric. Those are two good guesses. Chickens can eat corn. They can eat turmeric. This is something a little bit more unconventional. What is on Samira's head is actually egg yolk. And that means that Samira was having a morning snack of egg, which sounds a little weird. I know a lot of people get somewhat confused when they first realize that we actually feed back the eggs our chickens lay to them. And in Samira's case, she may have actually broken it open herself, because we do prefer to boil the eggs and feed them back to them after they've been hard boiled. But it does look like she had like slightly raw egg yolk that she flung over her head. So she may have found a laid egg, broken it open herself, and helped herself to a snack. Right, Samira? She says, look, I see what I want, I take it. That's just my kind of personality. But the reason that we actually will feed back these chicken eggs to them is that they are, they're bred to lay way more eggs than they naturally would in the wild. Chickens who are domesticated and are living on farms will lay somewhere between 100 to over 300 eggs a year, depending on their breed. Someone like Samira is probably closer to 100 or so. And they should lay 10 to 12. So it takes a big toll on their body. And we're not going to eat their eggs or take their eggs away from them here. Because we have so many delicious egg-free recipes. Check out our Compassionate Cuisine blog if you want to do some quarantine baking without any eggs. I highly recommend it. But these guys will get their eggs fed right back to them. And did we have any myths about chickens that came through, Lauren? No myths about chickens? All right. Well, these guys are often thought of. Hopefully, that's just because you guys don't believe that chickens are actually stupid or bird-brained, or that bird-brained should be an insult. But we're gonna go. Hello. Hello, 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 Keira. Keira, what you doing? Where you going? She's like, I am not going to. Hi, Imogen. Hi. Hello. Yeah, Imogen's just coming over here to say hello as well. Are you a good turkey? Yeah? Yeah? Are you a very good turkey? One of the best? Yeah. Yes, I know. So actually, I was talking about how chickens are not the bird brains that we usually, unfortunately, associate them with. They're very, very intelligent. They've got some pretty complex communication. I don't know if you can hear a little bit of chatting happening over in the background. They've got dozens of different vocalizations. Some scientists actually think chickens could have up to 200 different unique sounds. She's like, what about turkeys? Some scientists think that chickens could have up to 200 unique sounds. And we certainly can hear a few very specific sounds. They've got their, I'm so excited to have found food, let me share it with you sound. There's, I see something in the sky that you should be worried about. A mild complaint, a discomfort sound. Crowing is a territorial sound. We've even had chickens here, like our beloved JR, who was just like Samira and Keira, and who else have we met today so far? Cyrus. Just like these little birds in here, he's a Cornish cross chicken, the kind of chicken who would be raised on a farm till he was about 6 weeks old, when he would be killed for being eaten. And he lived till he was about 4 years old when he passed away, and he was just a very, very big guy, but loved people, absolutely loved people, and created a word that I've never heard any other chickens use, which was this long, low groan. Hello, we've got so many sneaking up on us here. A long, low groan that basically, over time, we learned meant, I see you walking past me. Come over here. Like, I want you to come over and say hello. Like, I know you're busy, but come over and say hello. And he would only do this sound if you walked past him and didn't turn his way and talk to him and look at him, go over and see him. So it was very much like, you're ignoring me. Fix that, because clearly I, JR, as a wonderful chicken, need all of the attention I can get. This is Delaney, I believe, yes.
So we did actually just have a chicken myth come in from Sean.
Oh yes, Sean, thank you.
Who has heard a myth that chickens have one eye that looks at the ground and one that looks at the sky.
Actually, while that's not like, they're not constantly looking at the ground and the sky like split. Yes, they have one eye, and I'm so sorry, I actually forget whether it's the left or the right eye. They have one eye that is really good for close-up vision, and one eye that is really good for like long-distance vision. And the reason is that they've developed in the egg, the way that they're curled in the egg causes the eyes to develop a little bit differently. And it has worked out so that they have one eye that is better for training on the flock and keeping an eye on, what's going on down here, and one eye that's really good for sort of scanning, like more broadly for predators. So yes, that is a true myth. And I know that we had somebody wanted to see Delaney. Was it just that they wanted to have Delaney featured?
Dakota would like to see Delaney.
Yes. Dakota, our animal caregiver, thinks that Delaney should be on our live stream. What do you think, Delaney? Delaney, I believe, is named after Dakota's grandfather. And she's an all-around good bird, isn't she? Yeah, you're an all-around good bird. Um, why are we in here chatting about the lives of chickens in general? One of the things that I just love is I just in general love helping people see that chickens are individuals with their own personalities, like our goofy, very very awkward Sanchez here, and turkeys. Imogen, turkeys are also individuals with their own personalities, and I think yours is shining through pretty clearly right now. What do you think? She says, I need more screen time. I need more screen time. I love you so much, Imogen. If you've ever been on an in-person tour with me, or even a few of our other guides, you may have wanted to come up to say hi to Imogen and done that, and she says hello, and then she immediately goes back to her favorite people. And she will just follow her favorite staff members around and just truly just cuddle right up. Sometimes she just presses her little chest into your legs while you're standing there, and she just looks and waits because Imogen needs attention, right? You're just a cuddle bug. You're just a very good cuddle bug. But today is not about turkey specifically, I know. Losing things from my pockets, you guys. So here we have Samira again, picking a few more plants from the ground, and I have another special treat that usually they like. Let's see. What do you think, Samira? Oh, did you see that? Was that on camera? Imogen was very rude and decided that she was going to go and peck Sal for the dandelions. Okay, you can have a dandelion, Sal. Oh, yeah, we're not sure how we feel about dandelions. Verdict is, chickens not as into dandelions as turkeys. Everybody is over here looking at this dandelion, mostly dropping it back down. Oh, Sanchez had it. Everybody else was not interested. What do you think, Sanchez? Yeah, apparently dandelions not on the most wanted list of foods for our chicken friends in here. But that's fine. Sister Mary Frances is going to be thrilled that we're leaving all of the dandelions behind for her. Our little potbelly pig will just go around and methodically eat all of the dandelions. Oh, you guys, we can share. We can all have our treats. Chickens and animal agriculture in general, chicken farming in particular, have been linked to a number of human health concerns. And we're realizing more and more in this day and age, as Imogen continues to steal the show, we are learning more and more in this day and age. Oh my goodness, why are you so mean right now? We can all share. Sometimes sharing is really hard. I know, you guys. That our intensive farming of animals like chickens, but also pigs, turkeys, cows, and the related encroachment on the environment of wild animals is leading to diseases in humans that are incredibly difficult to treat. And then there are the increasing number of antibiotic-resistant infections that are happening in, oh my goodness, right now. I don't know if you can hear because we got a new microphone, so it doesn't share the sound from the background. Imogen's having a hissy fit, chasing away the chickens who are stealing her attention at the moment. And she's just having very loud gabbles.
People in the chat are loving Imogen, just saying.
Imogen is a riot. I love her. She's great. I know. It's really hard to just stay calm when we want to make sure we're yelling at everyone. But chicken farming has led to a huge amount of antibiotic-resistant infections in humans. And it's actually the leading cause of antibiotic-resistant infections. It's not your neighbor's kid who decided they weren't going to like finish their round of strep throat medication, although you should always follow your doctor's orders for medication and definitely finish your dose of antibiotics for your safety's sake. But it's really that we're feeding chickens like Sanchez, like whoever you are, Winter. We're feeding them low-grade doses of antibiotics all the time on farms. 80% of all of the antibiotics that are sold in the United States are sold to be fed to farmed animals. About half of that, or 40% of all of those antibiotics, are antibiotics that are used in humans as well. And so there are these little bacteria on farms. We've got Lyle. Hello, we've got Winter over here, and Lyle is running away with a feather. It's like, this is going to be a great nesting feather. Or I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat my feather. Which is normal. It's a totally normal chicken thing to do. Yeah, you're stealing the show, Samira. Or Winter, actually, right now. Winter also has egg on her head. But on these chicken farms, the bacteria in these really dirty, crowded barns develops a resistance to the antibiotics that they're constantly exposed to. And in bacteria, there's their regular DNA that you might think of as like the little X-shaped chromosomes that you learned about in biology class. And then there are also these little, very, very small segments of DNA in circles that are called plasmids. And they are really, really sort of mobile pieces of DNA that become antibiotic resistant or create antibiotic resistance, and then move from bacteria that can make chickens sick into bacteria that can make other animals, including humans, sick. Because whether we like to admit it or not, we are also animals. And so on these farms, there's lots and lots of kind of gross chicken poop and waste all over the grounds. And we find a lot of antibiotic-resistant bacteria that then gets washed off the farm into our waterways, or maybe on a truck carrying chickens. All of that goes into the air. People breathe it in, they drink it, and that bacteria, antibiotic-resistant bacteria, kind of migrates, and we get infections like MRSA that are increasingly antibiotic resistant, and it's really not great for our health. Yes. Do we have any more chicken myths or questions?
We have a lot of questions.
Oh my
actually.
goodness.
I think it was Julie
Yes.
in the chat who had asked why some of them are different colors. Like there's Sanchez who's brown, the rest of them are white.
Yes. So Sanchez is a different breed. All of the other chickens in this yard are Cornish cross chickens, and they are the most common kind of chicken that you see raised for their flesh on farms. So they are the majority of the 9 billion. Sanchez is, we still haven't 100% decided on her breed, so I'm not gonna, and don't quote me on anything right here, I'm just not gonna say, but she is a different breed. Sanchez is very similar to breeds that you might see on chicken farms in Europe more commonly, and she was found on the side of the road in, I believe it was the Bronx, it may have been Queens, but we believe that she escaped or somehow ended up outside of a live slaughter market in the city. So she was going to be raised to be killed to be eaten as well, we believe, but she's just a different breed. And so just like there are Chihuahuas who look different than chocolate labs, that is kind of what we've got going on in here. Any other questions? Let's see who else we can find too.
Yes, so we have a question from unpiggy712 on Instagram about if they are all brothers and sisters, and then relatedly, we also had we had a lot of questions about Samira, asking if Samira has a best friend. So maybe how do they all kind of relate to each other?
Yes. So Samira I don't. She may very well have a best friend. Certainly, I've known many chickens who do have best friends. I don't know who Samira's specific chicken preference in this yard is. I would have to sit here and observe quite a bit longer. But she does get along with everyone pretty well. And then is often, I don't know if you could see, I'll let Lauren pan. They're pretty spread out. These guys, they like to do their cuddling at night. They'll cuddle up next to each other for bedtime. And they like to be a part of their flock. They're super social, definitely need their group. But they do kind of just spread out and do their thing during the day. So, I'm not totally sure who Samira's number one side-by-side companion is. As for whether or not they're all brothers and sisters, they're likely, some of them could be related, but keep in mind they came from a farm that had 36,000 chickens on it, who were not all brothers and sisters. And that farm would have bought those babies from a breeding farm. So the farms that raise chickens for their eggs and the farms that raise chickens for their flesh, they're actually buying these little tiny chicks from other farms that are exclusively dedicated to breeding, that we often don't hear about as much, and that have sometimes even worse conditions than the farms that we are hearing about that are raising these chickens. So they may have the same parents, but it's unlikely that any of them are full brothers and sisters. Any other questions?
Yeah, we got a couple more. Let's see. Karen is asking if the silky chicken is there. I don't know if she means one in particular.
We do not have the silky chickens in this yard, but we do have our silkies here. So back in, was it 2018? I think it was 2018. We rescued 4 hens and 2 roosters and 2 peeping eggs. And this is actually a very interesting thing about chicken intelligence and communication, is that chickens will actually talk before they've hatched. And the moms will talk to the eggs before the eggs have hatched, as the eggs develop. And it seems to help baby chickens learn how to communicate before they've actually kind of come out into the world. Just as we know that you kind of have a leg up, a slight leg up, not anything huge or permanent. If you hear a certain language, its tone while you're in the womb, you're able to learn that language a little bit more easily after you're born. So they'll actually talk and let their mom know that they're gonna peep, are ready to come out. And we heard the eggs peeping as we went to rescue these silkies and said, darn, we're gonna have to take these eggs with us. And they both turned out to be roosters. Any other questions, Lauren?
Let's do one more from the Instagram stories. Caffeine and Moonlight was wondering how the chickens are handling quarantine.
I would say pretty well. I would say they don't really know that they are in quarantine right now. Let's see if we can sneak a few more clovers in. Oh, yes. They are continuing to kind of just live life as normal. And actually, that has been, thanks to the support of our lovely, our general supporters and donators. Words are not coming to me right now as I feed all of these birds their clover. But we're really, really grateful for everyone who has continued to donate to sponsor our animals through this, so that we can let their lives be as uninterrupted as possible. And we've made it pretty easy to donate right now. If you would like, you can text CAS to 91999. And that's a nice, easy way to make a donation through text for us, to help us let Imogen be cranky only because there's a chicken who she wants to not share her clover with. and not because she feels the pressure of this quarantine. Oh, I know. Sometimes it's really hard to share the human's attention. You cranky pants, Imogen, I know. Samira is bold and brave. And she's like, I'm not going to let Imogen scare me. I'm not going to let her. I know that I've got Kaden here. Right? Oh my goodness, are you grooming me? Imogen, calm down. What other questions did we have before we wrap up today?
Yes, so I have an important question that
Yes.
I will ask afterwards. But Sean is also asking if the chickens respond to music.
The chickens don't seem to respond to music quite as much as the turkeys. So the turkeys have a very clear like enjoyment of listening to music. Some music annoys them, some music doesn't. And they actually do seem to have a little bit of individual preferences there, which of course, because they are all unique individuals. But the chickens, these guys are so busy that they don't stop and just listen to the music, if you will. They're like, look, I gotta go find more food to eat. I gotta go find a dust bath. I gotta go find trouble to cause. They're also fairly young, so they might mellow out a bit and start to enjoy music down the line. Imogen! Oh my goodness. Lauren, could your question be, why did the tofu cross the road?
How did you know that was going to be my question?
If you've ever been on a tour here with Lauren, you've probably heard this pun. Is it a pun? It's just a joke. It's just a corny
The
joke.
second part's a pun.
Ah, yes. So I will let Lauren give you her punchline. Why did the tofu cross the road?
The tofu crosses the road to prove it's just as good as a chicken. Hey! We'll have to see what we think of that in the chat. I hope you all like that because it is a foul joke.
And there's your pun.
Hey! Now everyone leaves the video. No more viewers.
Lauren loves a good pun. If you have good, nice to animals, chicken, turkey puns to share with us, we would love to hear them. Right? What do you think? We just moved some food farther down in our crop. That's what our little weird head movement was there. I don't know if you saw her making a weird head movement there. Yeah, we love doing the work that we're doing here. Imogen is still in the background harassing Samira. We truly believe that we can all live in harmony when Imogen is having a not as grumpy moment. We really believe that there is a world where humans and chickens and turkeys can all live together in a way that is healthier for us and healthier for them, where they can have their lives, and we are not polluting our environment with antibiotics, with nutrient runoff, and with greenhouse gas emissions the way that we are through our current animal agriculture that we're doing right here. We believe that there is a world where we can all just live free and happy lives, and we're so grateful to all of you who have sort of joined us in our mission to help work towards creating that world. And we're super grateful again that you're tuning in with us a couple times a week, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. This Saturday we've got some pretty special virtual visits coming up. So at 10 a.m. we're going to be on this property, our main property that if you've ever visited, you've seen, with our animal care director, Kelly Mullins, who's got some stories that she's planning to share with us that are still a surprise to me, but we're going to get to see sort of like that behind the scenes, what it's like to work here as a sanctuary. And then we are also going to do a special visit over at our quarantine property in the afternoon at 1 p.m. So tune in. We will be on YouTube Live again at those times. Thank you guys so much for everything, and stay home, stay safe, stay healthy. I hope you and all of your loved ones are doing well, and we will see you on Saturday.